Hong Kong isn't in love with London, it just thinks it's cheap. Here it's a room and a loo for £330,000.
60 square feet, everything in with free Wi-Fi.
Prices here have rocketed 60% in just 2 years. Many think it's peaked, so they've turned to London. And unlike Russian oligarchs and Arab sheikhs, they're investing in ordinary homes. What of course is different is that China's cash-rich middle class is often shopping for exactly the same type of property that Londoners are struggling to buy. Every weekend, the investors flock to international property expos where London estate agents eagerly await.
Anything on Hong Kong Island, £1 million for a 1 to 2 bed. I mean, that's very expensive. In London, it's cheap. It's as simple as that. £300,000, £400,000. People can afford it here, and they can afford to pay cash as well. And obviously, there's a love affair between Hong Kong people and going into London, the history, the culture.
Once it was just the Belgravias and Notting Hills being marketed internationally, but here today, Epsom, Hackney, Croydon and Colindale, thousands of miles from home, London is up for sale.
There are good demands for letting and leasing.
Cheap. Very cheap.
Do you understand why Londoners are getting angry with you guys buying all this property?
I would be. Personally, I cannot afford the price in Hong Kong.
The average UK rents are expected to rise by 21% over the next 5 years.
Ironically, the government here has slapped a 22% tax on foreigners buying in Hong Kong. That's cooled their market and stoked interest in London.
A lot of Hong Kong property sits empty, never with a tenant. You know, you'll look up at like high-rise buildings here at night and all the lights are off. And that's because, you know, a third of the building is probably owned by mainland Chinese and they just keep their shopping bags there when they visit, you know, once a quarter. They're in and they're out and they speculate heavily. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens in London.
It's a thorny subject. 6,000 miles east of Hackney, this London agent declined even an interview. Others, like Fraser and Co., have a plush Hong Kong office, a long way from Stratford. Here, without a single brick laid, they've already sold most flats that will eventually stand by the Bow flyover.
It's been one of the fastest selling this year, I would say. In one weekend it was over 50, and then down in Singapore it was about another 30 down there, so it's been busy.
It means many London developments are now launched in Asia.
I have to say that, you know, we normally do bring it and exhibit it in Asia first because culturally people are accepting to buy 2 or 3 years in advance.
But unbuilt sites aren't much use to someone trying to buy a home. Here, some warn Chinese speculation on London's new builds risks a bubble.
So suddenly if you're buying in a sort of secondary location where the large majority of owners are foreign who are in there speculating, you know, suddenly if the market drops 5% and everyone's looking to sell at the same time, that just pushes the price down further.
So there could be tears?
I'd say there'd be a few tears, yeah.
Time will tell. Mark Jordan, BBC London News, Hong Kong.